Goeienaand. Good evening. Welcome to Crypto Talk. It's Monday evening, the 18th of July. Welcome to this call. And at last, we had some green candles over the weekend. And what a weekend it was on crypto. What a Monday. It was definitely, we had a rephrase with regards to the idea of Blue Monday. Eh? This was definitely not a Blue Monday. This was a green candle Monday. And all of a sudden, you will see people coming back to the calls that's been away for a little bit of while. Just give them a day or two, just allow the green candles to really settle in for the news to spread. And you will find family and friends that did not talk crypto for a while. You will all of a sudden find them to start thinking crypto again. So tonight at Crypto Talk, we will talk about crypto and the levels to look at in the coming days. So we will talk about the levels to look at in the coming days. And it's important for you and I to know where we're going, what's going to happen. And we're privileged tonight to have on the call our subject matter expert. Allow me to just quickly mute everyone there. My apology for that one. And we are privileged at the Crypto School to have our subject matter expert on crypto trading available and in the room, and none other than Jason Ashington. And Jason, what a privilege it is to have you on the call, especially on a Monday, especially if it's a Monday like today, because Jason is fresh from the bush. He just arrived back from spending some time in Kruger. That's the place to be, and we all should be in Kruger, and maybe we should pack up and go to Kruger. Jason, I assume that the number of green candles and growth that you've seen today in your portfolio, you feel like you could have stayed a little longer in Kruger, but thank you for every time you're going on holiday. If Jason goes away, we end up having green candles. The same happened the last time that he's gone to Kruger. And Jason, I'll stop introducing you and say, please say hello to the team.
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, it's great to be back. Thanks, Donnie. I see your name is also Marius Adams there. So we've got two Marius Adams on the, yeah, it's great to be back, and it's great to see a positive market once again. And that is off Friday's announcement by the European Central Bank, the ECB, that they have begun unlimited bond buying, and that is massive stock market positive. I will be going through the article with you just now. So it's both the ECB and also the Fed. We've seen in the last couple of weeks have started buying back into the market, and that is also very positive for the crypto market. To set the scene, we'll just show a bit of a crypto bubbles there for the week. And how nice is that? And this is the top 100. And we've seen some massive moves. You know, Matic, for example, 60%. That's based off the news that's coming out in 2 days' time. We've seen, I see Duncan on the court tonight, QNT, 34% up, Lida 125. Ethereum Classic, and that's based off a massive move in Ethereum, 50% up, Aave 22, and then we've got some smaller ones. But majority is definitely green here. There's only two red ones here. That's the top 100. If we go to Binance Exchange for the week, also some other coins outside the top 100 here, some massive moves here of over 100%. How fantastic is that? And then we go to KuCoin. It's got the majority of the micro caps, and we've seen a similar picture, majority green here. And what is interesting right now is that we normally have the flow of money out of Bitcoin into the majors, into the mid caps, and into the micros, but everything seems to be going at the moment. And that is because really, I think we have really come right down to the rock bottom as altcoins. Some are down by 95% compared to where they were in November last year. And some of them are even being in a downtrend for 15 months now from May last year. So they really are at rock bottom, and we started to see some money definitely flowing back into most of these altcoins, which is excellent. Now, what I wanted to share tonight is really around this news that came out on Friday. And I've got the article here, and it's off Gregory Mannerine's website. Gregory Mannarino is one of these gurus that understand the market very well, the especially the stock market, very well, and what drives the stock market. And in this article, what he says, I'm going to read it out because it's important that we understand what is really going to happen in the next couple of months. So this coming week, now this article came out on Saturday, July the 16th, and it says here that this coming week, central banks, beginning with European Central Bank, embark upon yet another round of debt market super rigging. This new round of debt market manipulation on an unlimited scale is to further allow central banks to continue to inflate, furthermore, to push off for now immediate lockup of the system. So what he means by that is that if we go and look at the debt market, which is the 10-year yield, and we go back a couple of weeks ago, we had a period between the 27th of May and the 14th of June. So in the space of 1 month, the 10-year yield spiked up almost 30%. So this was an uncontrollable spike up. And guess what happened here? The Fed and the US and the ECB at that stage already in the middle of June, you can see, put the brakes on here. And they went back from a quantitative tightening situation to quantitative easing again, where they push money back into the market. So this is not new news. This is old news. They've only released this now, but you can see it really started here in the middle of June, where they started pushing down the 10-year yield. So just this past Friday, it was Bloomberg who first broke the story of the ECB to begin unlimited bond buying, which reads as follows: the European Central Bank will unveil an unlimited bond buying tool next week to help market better adjust to steep and faster interest rate increases. Look at the wording of the Bloomberg statement report above that. This unlimited bond buying tool is being sold as a way to help the markets better adjust to steeper and faster interest rate increases. What is being left out of the report is this: an unlimited bond buying move by the ECB, which will be followed up by the Fed Reserve as massively inflationary. So over time, with the printing of money, it is causing inflation. So this will catch up at some stage, but it's not going to catch up this week. It's not going to catch up next week. It's not going to catch up next month. I think it's going to take a couple of months to play out, but inflation is going to actually get worse, I think, going into 2023. Moreover, this announcement by the ECB sparked a stock market rally on Wall Street last Friday, this past Friday. Unlimited bond buying is massively stock market positive. It is further artificially suppresses rates, therefore fostering a risk-on environment and subsequent cash making its way back into equity stocks. So what he's saying here is that because of this announcement, we now gain more to risk on in the markets, and that is obviously risk on for stock markets and for crypto markets. So I think this is going to carry on playing out. I have mentioned before, with the view around the midterm elections in November, the ruling party does want to create a scenario where they seem to be bringing down the inflation numbers, and we've already seen the inflation starting to drop here with the oil over the last couple of weeks. We've seen massive de-inflation in foodstuffs. Wheat had a massive spike here with the announcement of the Russian-Ukraine war in March, and you can see that the wheat is back to the same level it was in February. Soya, another one, back to the same levels that it was in February. So we try to see de-inflation, stagflation in most of these commodities that the ruling party want to brag about. Plus, they want to have a stock market positive that starts moving up again, going into November, that they can also start bragging about. That is just really what this announcement tells us about. Now, we still have to take level by level in both the stock market and in the crypto market on the way up. We mustn't just think that this is it now, and we're just going to go in blindly and just buy and not manage our risk on the way up. So if we have a look at the S&P 500, which the crypto market follows quite closely, and this chart is very messy. It looks like a child's scribbling book, but these lines are in here for a reason. And you can see we have been in a downtrend since December. We came down on the 1st of December. We had the New Year's rally up to the end of December. Then since there has been dropping, and we dropped into a level 3640 in the middle of June. And you can see that the Fed, as I said, based off that 10-year yield on the same date, buying back into the market. We had a massive push up here over a couple of days, and we've been going sideways since then. So the expectation is that this market will start moving up again. That's what the expectation is based off this announcement that they did on Friday. If we look at Bitcoin, there is some chats coming through. You can just have a look at that, Donnie. If we have a look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin has been in a downtrend also from the same time. Let me just go to the chart here. From the end of November, sorry, from the beginning of November, we've been in a downtrend where we came from 68,000 and we dropped levels on the way down for the last 7 months levels. And now we are in actually a bearish flag. And the reason why it's bearish is because the entry is from the top and we've come down into this flag pattern. Now with the bearish flag, there's a 68% chance of a break to the downside. But remember, there's also a 32% chance of a break to the upside. There is also a bullish case also around this. So I don't think it's just only bearish. Let's just keep that in mind. So we have to get a confirmation. The first level of confirmation here is getting out of this bearish flag. And the other second confirmation is around the 200 moving average on the weekly, where we've just been rejected now this afternoon. If we go on to the weekly chart here and just pull the 200 moving average and we just open it up here, you can see we actually touched it this afternoon and has been rejected at the same level as this resistance of 22,600. So we need to get above this 22,600 level quite quickly, but more importantly, we need to break to the upside out of this orange bear flag. What happened this morning, which created a bullish scenario, is that we've got a white trend line here that has been in place since April this year, sorry, from March this year, which acted as resistance, and we actually broke out of here to the upside this morning. And I think what's going to happen here is we're definitely going to come down and retest this white line here. Now, this is on an exchange called Binance, and this chart won't be the same for exchanges because the Bitcoin price on each exchange is slightly different. It doesn't play out exactly to the same price point. The other chart that I look at is the Bitcoin futures chart, and the importance around the Bitcoin futures chart is that the majority of the institutions and whales actually trade on a exchange called the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, and they trade only from a Monday to a Friday. And we get situations where we create gaps over the weekend. So where price stops on a Friday and opens up on a Monday, it creates a gap, because you remember that the rest of the market trades 24/7. So there are gaps that open and these gaps get closed. But the thing I want to talk about here is that this chart is showing us a falling wedge that has been in place since September last year. We actually broke to the downside here on the 13th of June, and we've come back inside that falling wedge. So we need to hold these levels around here at 24,500 on the CME, and pretty much the same price here we've seen here on the Binance Exchange at 21,500. I think that will be acting as support, and hopefully we're going to see a move up from there. But we have to trade the charts for what it is now, where we've seen these moves up to the top here, getting rejected here, markets opening up shorts, coming back down, they coming down to the bottom, they're opening up longs. So they're just playing this up and down scenario. And I think the whales are obviously watching this. The whales are one step ahead of the retail. And what the whales are going to do is that they know that retail will want to short once we get to a level like this. And where would the retail put their stop loss? So they'll put their stop loss above this line here. So what the whales are going to do is at some time, they're going to push this market up and they're going to push it above this line. It's going to force all these stop losses to activate. Now, remember, when there's a short, they have to cover their short by buying back into the market. So you've got a whole lot of dominoes now that's starting to fall over, and they get a tailwind here and they push the Bitcoin price up with all these short coverings. And I think we're going to have a massive candle up here at some stage once these whales are pushed up. Okay, so that is on the Bitcoin chart. If we go and have a look at the total market cap, so the total market cap, remember in November was at 3 trillion.
Oh, that feels like a lifetime ago, Jason.
Yeah. 7 months, where are we now? 8 months ago, 3 trillion. And we came down a couple of Saturdays ago to 880 billion, I think. No, less than that, 768 billion. And we've been in this bearish wedge. So we've come down and touched a few times up and down, and we broke through this wedge this morning. And the first resistance was this 1 trillion level, and you can see we've hit that resistance, got rejected there. So as with Bitcoin, I see a move back down to retest, I think, this level here at about 965 billion. That will be a retest there. And then hopefully we'll break through this 1 trillion massive resistance level back to the upside there. I see some chats coming through there, Donnie, if there's any questions.
It's cool. You can go.
Okay, good. Yeah, so that's what we see for now. As I see, I think we're going to have upside the next couple of months based off those midterm elections. But we have to make sure that we take level by level and don't get too bullish until we have started getting above the weekly 200 moving average, until we've got out of this bearish wedge formation and we start getting above these other resistance points around about 22,600, 24,000. Now, I did mention a bit earlier around what the altcoins have been doing, where they've been absolutely slaughtered in the last 8 months, and now they're starting to gain momentum. Money is flowing back into them. Now, what is Bitcoin really going to do over the next couple of months, possibly going into November, December, is that we need to, and I think I spoke about it 2 weeks ago, the important levels to watch, and I think where we're going to have massive resistance is definitely at this 30,000 level. It already starts at 28,500, and if we look at this major support that we broke here with that lunar announcement on the 9th of June, we shouldn't have broken this. We should still be above this level, but because of what happened in lunar, this actually pushed us down. But this 28,500.
That will now be resistance, Jason.
That'll be massive resistance on the way up. And you can see where even in May, June last year, it was support here in January 2021 and was support now from 10th of May to the 10th of June. So that is definitely going to be the resistance point on the way up. So I think we're going to have, for the next couple of months, a really slow slog up here, whereas the altcoins, I think we're going to have an altcoin season, hopefully. I'm crossing my fingers here. I haven't got a crystal ball, but I see that's actually playing out where we're going to have a lot of upside in altcoins versus what we've seen, what we're going to see with Bitcoin. The other interesting chart is relating to Ethereum. And if we have a look at the Ethereum chart, we saw a move up here and Vinda put it onto the WhatsApp group on Saturday already. This was the 16th at 2 o'clock. Ethereum started moving up, and this is based off the announcement of the move from proof of work to proof of stake. At the moment, you can mine Ethereum, but that's going to stop, and it's going to go to proof of stake. So Ethereum from Saturday afternoon has gone up 26%, massive. And we've actually broken out of this orange resistance line that's been in place here since the middle of May. Hit the first resistance at 1,500, and I see us coming down to retest the breakout here, back down to this orange line here, at 1388, somewhere around there. And what is
can
great,
you do you Ethereum Bitcoin chart?
yeah, that's what I'm going to show you now. As I say, that I see the altcoins outperforming Bitcoin quite a bit, and we can already see that if we look against Ethereum versus Bitcoin. So what this chart shows us, when we're in a downtrend, it means Bitcoin is outperforming Ethereum. And you can see that it's been outperforming it since the 3rd of December, and we hit a bottom here in the middle of June. And since then, we started trending up. So since the middle of June, and that coincides with the Fed and ECB starting to push money into the markets, we've seen upside here in the Ethereum, where Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin. And that's really started to ramp up now from a few days ago, where we've seen the Ethereum starting to take off here, which is great. So that goes also with the belief that altcoins are going to do very well in the next couple of months. So that's all from my side right now, Donnie.
Cool. Thank you, Jason. I know you still have a lot up your sleeve, and we will go revisit that or visit that in just a little while. But allow me to quickly get some comment. And I get messages from everywhere, from Phip Smith telling me that it's now his turn to comment, to tell us what he sees in the market. I know Phip Smith, I just added something there to make it sound more glamorous than it is. It isn't that bad. I apologize. Andre, our young gun, or also known as Phip Smith. Andre, please comment on what Jason has just told us with what's happening in the market.
Yeah, good evening, guys. It's nice being back. I haven't been on this show for a while now. I was a bit busy and stuff. But yeah, it's nice, and thanks, Jason. I love it. Guys, and yeah, the crypto space is so crazy because everybody is saying something different. Because there's people that are saying, okay, we're going down to 10K or even 8K or whatever. And there's other people that say, no, we're going to the moon now. The bottom is in. The point is, nobody knows really. But that is where our charting comes in and the stuff. And that's what we do with risk management. But I really love what Jason said. And the problem is with all the stuff that's going on in the world outside of crypto, that's definitely going to have an impact in our crypto space as well. And the problem is because the people are getting scared, they're going to hold back with their money, their fiat. That's useless. So they're going to hold back. They're not going to spend it. And then that's going to create a cycle because nobody wants to spend anything. And that's going to that's not going to be good for the economy and whatever. So that stuff I'm going to share what I want to share just now. But before I do that, let me just quickly share my screen. And I have something new I want to share with regards to TradingView as well. Okay, but I'll do that later. Okay, so first of all, this is the Bitcoin chart. I hope everything is clear enough. So you can see this is the Bitcoin chart on the 4-hour. Now, I want to quickly show something which is really bullish for me. So you can see, and let me just delete this. So you can see here, this was a divergence, strong bullish divergence. And yeah, I know a lot of you guys probably don't really understand how this works, but it's a really great tool. I love using the RSI and divergences. But you can see here, we made a low here, boom, and I can quickly scroll there. We made a low there, and then higher lows the whole time, which is really good. And the same here with the highs, that one higher high, which is really good. So this is really good. This is really good. So that is really bullish for me. But for me to be really bullish. Oh, and then another thing that's also really bullish is if you look at this longer term trend line here, boom, you can see that we have broken that trend line, and that is really good. So for me to turn really bullish is I would like to see us break this high here from 23,290. So I want us to see that high broken. And you may ask why? For me, this is the move where the RSI was, with a strong bullish divergences, and I want that high to be broken for that strong bullish divergence. Okay, so with that said, let me just, okay, I'm not going to use this chart. Let me just go to another thing. Oh, and you can see this red box here. This red box is the 38.2 fib from the top, from the all-time high until this low. That is the, is the 38.2. So if you break this, you can see this is going to be resistance to be broken, this line. And then that line is going to be resistance as well, that zone, because people are going to get out. Okay, but a really good thing for me is the USDT dominance. I just want to see if I'm at the right one. That was this one. Yeah, here we go. So I left that line, and I can't remember why I drew this. I think I was trying to chart the alts and stuff. So this is a USDT dominance. And what this means is if this thing goes lower, it means the people are getting back into the crypto space. So they're deploying their fiat again into the market and whatever. So if it goes up, people are getting out of the market. If it goes down, people are getting back into the market. So you can see here, we went to the 618786 zone and then boom, retraced. And this bigger time frame trend line, we just broke through that, which is really bullish for the upside move that Jason just showed. So that's really great for me. I really like to see this. But then you guys always know I have always some bearishness in me. Well, for me it's bullish, but for some guys it might be bearish. So if I go to the BLX chart, and again, this is the chart that can give you the most candles that you can on any single chart on TradingView. So yeah, it may look confusing now because you see a lot of lines. So what I did is I went back and I got all the divergences that I could find. There's a lot of divergences that I left because it supported my thesis, but I left them because then it's going to be too crazy. Okay, and sorry if I bore you guys, and Donnie, Jason, you can stop me if you want to add something or ask something. So I went here. Okay, it's going to be easier if I just zoom in here. So I went back to the beginning. And you can see here, every time we had a divergence, from where the divergence started, we never went back to that same zone. So we never went there. Boom, there was I think 3 times out of 11 that went to that area. But there, you can see, never went to that area. There's a divergence. Boom, there's a divergence, never went there. I'm just going quickly, so you can see there's the divergence. There's a divergence, never went there. There's a divergence, still a divergence, never went there. There was a divergence, and I'll quickly add it. No, that wasn't even, yeah, it wasn't, sorry. I was charting it on the 1 week as well, but this is on the 2 weekly chart. And I'll get to what I want to now. So there's another divergence. That one, you can see that one is red, and that one's red as well. It went below that area, okay, but that is fine. There was another divergence. There was actually a few here, but yeah, it's going to be too many lines, but there was a few here, never went down there. That is still that line from there. So there was a divergence, never went back there again, never went back there again. The point is, the chances of going below that levels are really low. I think there was like 12 or 13 lines that I drew in here, and only 3 of them went below that area. And that is where this comes in. You can see there's one, it broke through, but there is a big one, yeah. And you can even take this line until that area there, or even that area there, because this divergence is still in play. But if you look at this, the chances are, like for me, it's 0.3% or 3% that we can go below this level. And that level is $9,893. So for me, that might be scary for you, but for me, I can almost guarantee you we won't see Bit going below $9,800. And I want to share something funny to you guys. I think 2 nights ago, it was Saturday night. I slept, I woke up, I had a dream, and the dream was so real. I saw Bitcoin's price going to this area here, and this is actually where I have my bosons in. and that I don't really think all of them are gonna get hit, but I really do hope so. Wait, where is that other chart? But I dreamt and I saw Bitcoin's price going to that level, exactly where my orders are. And that was like, it was so real that I went to the charts and checked if it didn't happen. Okay, so this is the bearish side. And I'll quickly share with you guys why I say that. Because a lot of guys are thinking, okay, this is the bottom. And what can happen and what they like to do is they like to stop everybody out. So you can see a higher lows, higher highs. So that looking really bullish for me. That's really bullish for me. But what they do is they like to stop everyone out. So a few days ago, I made this chart because you can see it looks almost the same as this area here. So Bitcoin, that what it printed there, it almost looks the same as what's printing here. And I just took that move, boom to the downside, boom to the downside. And then if this happens, my last 2 orders may be filled, which I would be really happy. Guys, I would be crazy happy if this can happen. And I don't know if you guys watch Chico Crypto. It's a guy, he's a really smart guy. He has a lot of weird stuff he says, but I really enjoy him. And he says he's expecting Bitcoin's bottom to be in between August and September. So guess what? With this that I copied there, that is between August and September. So if that happens, I would be really happy. But the chances are not, I don't know, guys. For me, it's 50-50. I would like to see that high broken, but unless we don't see that high broken, I'm waiting for this area here. And sorry if this is not what you guys want to hear, but this is what I wanted to share.
Cool. Thank you, Andre. Yes, it's always fun to see what you can come up with. And it's always fun to check in with everyone in the group to see where they at and where they see Bitcoin. And at this very moment, the premise that I'm on is I would not like your orders to be filled because I have more upside to it. But I have listened to people, like you said, that talk about a 12,000 Bitcoin. And for them, it's going to happen after this upcycle. Yes, it's balanced to look at all the views. So thank you for that, Andre. I've had the privilege earlier today to look at, well, just now, just an hour ago, roundabout, maybe an hour and a half ago, to a Raoul Paul interview that was live on Twitter. And the guy interviewing him had just one thing in mind, is to make him out as someone that should be gunned by crypto followers, as someone that told them to buy crypto and crypto's gone down, and he told everyone to buy and crypto's gone down, and he still continued telling people to buy and crypto's gone down. And I can see that he's someone trying to get a class action suit or something going. And the fun part was the interviewer just told him, but you said this and this. He said, yes, but just go do the whole thing, because later in that thing, I positioned that and said this and this. You know, I can show you, I can send it to you afterwards. You said this, only taking a little extract. And we, as we talk here tonight, some people on this call will take little pieces of what we said, little pieces of what Jason has said, is what Andre has said, and we'll only go to those little pieces. But I want to get back to Jason. But before I go back to Jason, I'm just going to go and ask the wealth coach, Marius Adams, to just come on and say hello to the team and just share a little with where you're at with regards. And then we go back to Jason to go and look at specific points, and to hear Jason giving us what he feels is going to happen in the little time ahead of us, the levels that we need to look at. And he showed us the bigger market position, but we'll go further into that with Jason.
Great to be here. Just from my side, on our morning call, there's some nice news. And what we saw on Twitter is that the CEO of CZ says not understanding money and crypto is a risk. For the new guys on the call, if you don't understand money and crypto yet, on our free stuff, there is a workshop understanding Bitcoin and blockchain. You're more than welcome to have a look at that. And also, I see that the South African Central Bank now considers cryptocurrency to be a financial asset. I would like at one stage that we get Coin Trader back again on our calls, because I know that they are also busy with the Reserve Bank on a regular basis. My personal a portfolio that I'm busy with is that I'm still on my hands and sitting on my hands, building other projects outside, fresh money in again for the lower lows. So great. Daniel, thank you.
Almost muted, hoor.
Daniel, you're muted, my friend. In again for.
Okay, let me just mute the Facebook page. My apology. The Facebook page started playing on my page, so that's why I muted. My apology for that, ladies and gentlemen. I am back, and it's always interesting to see the different views. And I honor this community for people bringing their different views. And thank you, Marius, for that one. Jason, back to you. Let's look at the levels that we think we're at and go, or comments that you would.
I agree that it's good to have different views. There's nothing wrong with different views. And right now, as I said, we are on a bearish flag. And a bearish flag tells us 68% chance to the break to the downside. So we've got a lot of work to do if we want to build a bullish case here. So I agree with that. But I'm also saying that any drop in any market on any time frame doesn't drop in one straight line. There are times where the market bounces back up to the upside or to the downside. It doesn't go into the straight line. There are corrections on the way. And on a higher time frame, on both the stock market and the crypto market, I think we at oversold areas on the weekly, and both of them are due for a bounce. We unfortunately haven't got a crystal ball to say that now's the time, but if we look at the charts and we look at the relative strength index, they are telling us that we are due for a bounce very shortly. And I see somebody's made a comment in the chat group there about Bitcoin going down to 10 or 4,000. I do think that will take place, but it's not going to take place yet. It will take place when we have implosion in the debt market, not in the stock market. The driver of the stock market is the debt market. So when the debt market implodes, it's going to bring down the stock market. But if we have a look at the S&P 500, yeah, and this is just crystal ball. This is definitely not something that is prescribed here. It's just a view from my side. When we move up, and FibSmith understands it also, when we move up, we normally move up in 5 waves, where we got a first wave up, second wave down, third wave up, fourth wave down, fifth wave up. Sometimes it even extends to 7 or even 9 waves, but it's normally a 5-wave move up, and then you have a proper bigger correction off there. Now, on the downside, we normally have a 3-wave move down, or even a 5-wave move down. So based on a weekly time frame, we've been in a downtrend now for 7 or 8 months on the stock market, and we are very close to coming down to an area where we are oversold, and you can already see, starting to see a reaction on the relative strength index to the upside here. And what I see is going to happen is, as I say, into the midterm elections, there's an upside here, and we're possibly going to go up to the retracement level of around about 4364, and that's FibSmith's number based on a Fibonacci of the high in November and the recent low, and you can see that the 618 is at 4364. And you can also see that as a major previous support area too. So I see us possibly going up here to the end of November, going into December before the holidays. And then debt implosion sometime next year. Nobody knows when it's going to happen. That is going to drive the C wave. And we could possibly stay up in this area for a while and then start moving down, but we don't know when that would actually take place. But that is my best case scenario that's going to take place in the stock market. If we move over to look at the, as I say, the crypto market, and we go onto the weekly, and we have a look at the relative strength index, and I've gone over to the Bitstamp because it gives us a bit more history than what Binance does. And I want you to focus here on the relative strength index, where it is at the bottom. It's at rock bottom on the weekly. If we go back in history, just have a look here when last it was at the bottom here. We can see here in the bottom of the previous cycle after the high in 2017. We had the low in December 2018. We got to a low year on the weekly, and the previous to that was in 2014. So really are at the rock bottom here, an oversold territory on the weekly for Bitcoin. If we have a look at the stock RSI at the bottom there, you can see it's starting to curl up, starting to move up here. That is telling us possibly on the weekly that we are starting to move up. The other chart that we need to look at, that is the 1 month. And if we look at the 1 month stock RSI, when last was it down the bottom here like it is now? So only 2 previous occasions, in 2018 and the other time was in 2014. So these indicators, both the stock RSI and RSI, are telling me that we are due for correction back up. So as I say, ABC retracement, A leg down now already in over the last 7 months, then a B leg up, possibly up to the 30,000 level, and then a C leg down. And it's going to bring us down into next year. So Donnie, that's what I see is going to take place with regards to both the stock market and the crypto markets over the next 12 months.
Cool. Thank you, Jason. And the key is that we as a community talk to one another and to be on the calls regularly. And thank you, Jason, for the morning call this morning. I assume that you've seen that I've been on there. Unfortunately, around 9 o'clock, I had to go off the call, but thank you for what you've done there this morning. But the key is that we as a community are here to help and assist one another. Every one of us is listening to something somewhere, and where we find these gems to bring it to the community, as Phip Smith has just brought these new findings on his charts that on TradingView that he plotted, and he shared it with us. And thank you for that, Andre. Marius every week come and tell us what he found and where he's at, and that's the key. And for Crypto Talk, what we like to do is to just bring you some guidance, some direction with what's happening. And that's why tonight we talked about what's happening with the levels. What levels do we have to look at in for the next few months. And Jason, if we can maybe go look at 1 or 2 different coins, something like Mathematic has done a phenomenal jump. And you've mentioned it earlier when you looked at crypto bubbles, but there are some coins that done amazing jumps in the last few days. And it's important that we just understand that and not get suckered into stuff, but to make sure that we go look into the market and stay safe out there with our capital.
Yeah, thanks. I'll get to it now. Sorry, the one thing I wanted to show you that this is a relative strength index for Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. And you can see that where there has been falling wedges, with a falling wedge, it's a bullish case where there's a 68% chance to break to the upside. And you can see once again we're in a falling wedge. But previously, where there was a falling wedge in 2014, we broke to the upside. In 2018, we broke to the upside into 2019. And you can see once again we're in one of those falling wedges scenarios. Now, the RSI is a leading indicator when it comes to, it leads price. So we need to be drawing this on your charts, and we need to be having a look at this RSI when it gets to levels up the top here. Will it get rejected like it did previously, or are we going to break through this resistance line on the RSI in the next couple of weeks? Because once we start breaking through, this is going to set up definitely a bullish case that's similar to what happened here in previous times. So that's just one other thing I wanted to show you there.
Thank you, Jason.
We can have a look at Matic there. So Matic had a fantastic move. And let's just go into the 8-hour here. So we broke out on the 8th of July, came down, retested right down to 52 cents. And that was on the 13th of July. That was 5 days ago. And we went right up to the major resistance here at $1 in the space of 5 days. So that was almost a 100% move. How fantastic was that?
How cool is that?
And we saw Marius Landman's favorite coin, Ethereum Classic, did the same thing. We had a breakout here on the 7th of July, retested on the 13th, same day, and a massive move up based on what's happened to Ethereum. It went from 13 up to $23, 76%. So we had a nice move in those two coins over the last couple of days. And then today, as you say, there's been some very good moves in some of these coins. Matic has a terrific move, went up for the last 18 hours, and then some smaller caps we've had. But generally, they've all been around over 10%, most of these coins today. But as I said 2 weeks ago, where I went through a lot of these coins, a lot of these coins have come down by at least 85 to 95%. So remember, even though we've come down 95%, a move back up now, where you go from like a phantom, went from $3 in November. Let's just have a look here. So it was, sure, much harder, 348. Okay, so that was in October, it came up complacency in January up to 336. Went all the way down to below 20 cents. So that's a massive drop here of at least 95%. 95% move.
Yeah, but Jason, the key is now for it to go up. It's not 95% to get back to where it was. And that's the part that people don't understand. We can 3 times make the money going up.
So 95% to the downside, but if we go back to the same levels where it was, so I'm going to take here 20 cents back up to the all-time high in October, that's 1,700%.
Yeah.
So that's why we like the bull market so much, because of the percentage on the way up. But you remember, the bulls climb the stairs, so it takes a hell of a long time to get up there, but the bears jump out the window. So when you see how long it took the bull market to get up there, and I know we had parabolic move here towards the end, but look with the downside, it's 7 months, right down 95%. So that's why we're looking forward to these altcoins in the next 6 months. And we are hoping and praying that Bitcoin starts doing its thing and we start getting out of this bearish pennant and start moving up.
Thank you, Jason. We appreciate that. And thank you, Alan Rathbone. I see in the chat box that you said thank you for the insights tonight. It was nice seeing you on the call, Alan. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close this call. I'm going to ask our 3 participants tonight to give us a last thought on what they've seen tonight, what they heard, and what they want to say in the week going forward. And we start with Phip Smith. Andre, if you will just conclude your last comments for the evening.
Yeah, guys, remember, I started with saying there's a lot of opinions, because and it may make you crazy, but don't let that get you. Just know, guys, like me, I'm in the crypto market. I'm gonna be here forever. Nothing's gonna change it. If you just think about the last 22 months, 80% of all of the US dollars were printed. So that should scare the out of you and make you think, okay, you should do something. So that's why Bitcoin is there, and that's why I'm in this space. And I'm gonna sit here. You're not gonna get me out of crypto.
Cool. Thank you, Andre. We appreciate that. We need a young gun. Can you guys, girls, can you see why we need a young gun in the room? Thank you, Andre, for that. Marius, last comments from you.
Yes, I'm exactly the same as Andre. We've been in crypto for the last 5 years. We saw the bull runs and the bear runs. So we are in crypto for a very long time. We live out of our crypto, and we survived this bear run, and on our bull run on the way up, we are going to make some great gains again. Great. Thanks, Daniel.
Oh, thank you, Marius. Terry just got excited when you talked about the bear run there. but just joking, tongue in cheek. But ladies and gentlemen, remember to go to our webpage, thecryptoschool.co.za. Go and subscribe if you have new people that would like to get into crypto. Get them to go subscribe to our free stuff so that they can get into our free stuff. Go look at our Facebook channel every Monday evening, every Tuesday morning. I post the previous crypto talk on there. Please make sure that you go and look at that and go show that to your family and friends. And last comments from you, Jason. I see that Vinda said thank you to everyone, and Caroline. Thank you, Caroline. Jason, last words from you for tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. I agree with what Andre is saying. The Bitcoin chart right now is telling us it's bearish. I agree. But as I said, two things are telling me that possibly the opposite, and I'm using the word possibly. And the first thing is that we don't come down in a straight line or up in a straight line. There is corrections on its way, and I think we are due for a correction back to the upside. That's the first thing. The second thing is most definitely the ECB has come out on Friday and announced that they are buying back the bonds. We've seen it there. And the Fed are doing exactly the same thing, and they've already started in the middle of June. And I don't believe that is going to stop and going into the midterm elections in November. And to see that we are going to see some upside in the next couple of months before another correction, possibly next year. So that's just a view from our side. But I haven't got a crystal ball. We have to play level by level on the way up here. But we need to take advantage of this market. So that's all from our side. Thanks.
Cool. Yes. Thank you, Jason. Here we sit in South Africa, but we have an opportunity to gain something from the market in the US. And how beautiful is that? I know this is now confusing because I'm on our webpage, on our Facebook page, as well as on our Facebook page again. But all I wanted to do is I wanted to go to the Facebook page to just tell you tonight we had a scammer on there again, telling you they duplicate the Crypto School page. And when you go there, you'll see that it's not the Crypto School page, it's just a duplicate of it. Facebook is not interested in getting them off the call. I ban them every week they're back. I promise you, the Crypto School doesn't have 32 Ethereums to give to you or 3 or 4 Bitcoin to give to you. So if ever you see that, please don't send them your Bitcoin. Rather talk to us and get our wallets, and we will give you a place that you can send your Bitcoin, but we're not going to give you what they promise you. Ladies and gentlemen, it was an absolute privilege serving you. We are here to help you and serve you. And thank you, Willie Smith, for thanking us for our dedication. But we are here to help and assist the community to make life better for every one of us. And we together when the market is going down, and we together when the market is going up, and we smile together, and we live together, and we love together. And thank you for being part of this. We really enjoy serving you. Thank you for everyone on the call every week. We appreciate your time. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good one with loads of green candles in this week. I bless you. Cheers. Bye-bye.